in the 30s here at Lambeau as the Cardinals and Packers get ready to go. Let's head down to the field in Laura, Oakland.
You will be shocked to hear I'm going to keep talking about this weather. It is cold, it's wet, but it's December in Green Bay. What is a factor is this wind. I asked both coaches what was the key today. They both immediately brought up the importance of the coin toss, saying they want the wind on their side in the fourth quarter. They were already thinking about that. We're expecting wind gusts about 20 miles per hour. Kicker Mason Crosby told me, yes, we're used to this, but this wind is extreme. Chris, I want to be clear. That's not me whining about it. That was Mason saying it.
All right, thank you. As the Cardinals won the toss and deferred, so Green Bay set to receive is Mike McCarthy. Has never gone back-to-back seasons, and this is 13th without his team missing the playoffs.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising to hear some talk about, Mike McCarthy's job security here with the record that he's put together here as head coach of the Green Bay Packers. That one, a great example of.
And Steve Wilkes coming over from the Panthers, where he was part of that rebuilding program, trying to do that, but having a rough opening season for him. And week 13, Cardinals-Packers happening, and into the end zone, here comes Jamal Williams. Up across the 20-yard line. And Aaron Rodgers, who said you either come together in times like these or you start splintering, and his team not splintering. And why should they, with him at the helm? When Green Bay is at home in December, they are tough to beat, almost perfect.
Yeah, you talk about a home field advantage, and some people look at a weather day, a situation like we have here this afternoon. More than that, it's number 12 lining up a quarterback here in the month of December.
And a little bit healthier, this team today, at least on the offensive side of the ball.
Hey, 4-3, set up. 319! 319! Head! 4-3. Hey, yeah, 4-3. Blue 58! Blue 58!
Aaron Jones slips a tackle and gets across the 26-yard line on the first handoff. David Bakhtiari is back. He's the one who said we're in playoff mode, the left tackle. And Randall Cobb healthy as well.
And that's a huge one, Randall Cobb. I think one of the things you've seen, the struggles in the passing game, some things we have not seen from this Packer team over the last several years, and a lot of that has to do with the youth at the wide receiver position. And this is a very precise offense, and they're still developing that chemistry.
399, head! Blue 58! Blue 58!
Jones short of the first down. You see him sliding there. The field was covered. The tarp came off just about 3 hours before kickoff. This natural grass field, it's heated underneath, so it could get a little slick as we check the Cardinal defense. Chandler Jones up front with 11 sacks, and in that secondary, Patrick Peterson always enjoys going up, matching with Rodgers.
Yeah, this is going to be fun to watch, and I think the big thing for Arizona is going to be how much pressure can they generate on Aaron Rodgers. They've got good pass rushers in that front. This offensive line for the Packers has been banged up during the course of the season. We'll see how they hold up this afternoon.
319! 319!
Packers need 3 for a first on third down. Rodgers, the healthiest he's been this season. That's what he told us in Friday's chat and Saturday's practice, that he slides for a first down. Something every defense tries to guard against is the movement of Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, but you have to be smart with your own self, and the way you play. Chandler Jones loops inside. Rodney Gunter does not get back outside to cover that. So you had 2 guys inside. Aaron Rodgers will recognize that right away and get into that open space.
5-yard pick up, first down, 33-yard line.
319! 319!
Rodgers to throw. He's got all day and dumps it off. That's Aaron Jones. And Jones fights to get to the 39-yard line. Second-year player from Texas El Paso.
For all the young quarterbacks out there, this is what you can learn from Aaron Rodgers. His eyes are downfield the whole time as he's going through his progression, but he knows where his outlet is. There's Aaron Jones right there at the last second off of that odd platform, odd throw. That's what makes Aaron Rodgers so good and effective as a quarterback.
Hey, even, 4-3. 319! 319!
Aaron Jones, that time they stuff him. He's been crushing it with a 6-yard per carry average, best in the NFL, celebrating his birthday today. at age 24, and it's also Aaron Rodgers' birthday, age 35. So happy birthday to both Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones. 3rd down 3, opening drive for the Packers from the 40-yard line.
Is one of those areas this offense has struggled in a little bit this year. Usually very effective on 3rd down. They've had some issues.
319.
They converted one early. Here's the catch and a slip tackle by Jimmy Graham. They convert another 3rd down as he gets to midfield. And yes, Mike McCarthy said the 3rd down issues on offense, that has let us down this year.
And it kind of goes back to that thing we talked about a couple of plays ago, the inexperience at the wide receiver position on 3rd down. It's a situational component of the game. There's a lot of emphasis placed on that during the course of the week in your preparation, and that's an area where the inexperience can show itself.
3 rookie receivers, part of a group that has Randall Cobb and Devontae Adams in his 1,000-yard season.
319. 319.
Rodgers with time and catch dropped. It was a catchable football, and Equanimous St. Brown, one of those rookies we're talking about, the 6th-round draft pick from Notre Dame with David Amerson on him, couldn't hold it.
Going to come out of the center part of that bunch, and this is one of the things that this Packer offense has been known for. They like the explosive play down the field, and it's a good job by David Amerson getting that hand up.
From midfield on a 2nd down 10. That's Jones. Aaron Jones in the slot to the left of Rodgers, and he gets the football. Cardinals there, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half a yard. It'll bring up 3rd and long, and the Packers 2 for 2 on this opening drive, converting on 3rd down.
Yeah, and just not good location right there on the throw by Aaron Rodgers. Didn't really give Aaron Jones much of an opportunity to catch it cleanly and get turned upfield to make some positive yards.
So the footing may be a challenge throughout the course of this game, although players had an opportunity to adjust shoes, cleats. Packers used to this. For the Cardinals, it's a different kind of challenge.
5-1, 4-3, 4-3. Quick. 319. 319 up.
On 3rd and long, Jones knocked down the ball, may have come out. They're saying as Trey Boston put the hit on. Cardinals are acting as if they haven't, but we may have a forward progress call on the whistle.
Interesting call on 3rd and 10 right there, and here comes Trey Boston. He's going to come all the way down from his safety position. So late getting there, you could see Randall Cobb, who is a good blocker from the wide receiver position, but just bad timing.
Yeah, Boston got there, and then Kimdichie with that hit looked like the ball came out, couldn't see where the knee was. It was not ruled a fumble, but are we going to see a challenge here? And we are, from the Cardinals sideline, and head coach Steve Wilks.
It looked like Trey Boston had his leg straight, so that knee probably wasn't able to get down. And then as he fell, it looked like he fell on top of Trey Boston.
Wilks 0 for 1 on challenges in his head coaching career. Pete Morelli is our referee.
Ruling on the field is not reviewable since it's forward progress. The ruling is forward progress.
Okay, so they did call forward progress, and if they do that, as Morelli says, so there's no challenge. That's a way of, I guess, the officiating crew getting off the hook for missing something. That's something maybe the competition committee can look at, because that's happened a few times. Christian Kirk back to receive, so no chance to challenge, although it may have looked like a fumble. Packers opening drive stalls. J.K. Scott punting it away. And what a kick, but they can't down it. It stalled and then rolled into the end zone from the 20-yard line. Here come the Cardinals on offense, and Larry Fitzgerald 4 catches away from making NFL history.
Attention to detail involves all 3 phases of this game. An opportunity to really put the Cardinals in a tough spot with field position. Josh Jones has got to locate that ball, now react and be able to down it inside the 5. A blown opportunity for the punt team.
From the 20-yard line, David Johnson breaks through, and Johnson has a first down up near the 33-yard line of the Cardinals. The special teams have hurt the Packers this year in 3 different games. It may have cost them at least opportunities to win. So the rookie from UCLA, 10th overall pick in the first round, making his 9th start in the NFL. Rosen has thrown 4 touchdown passes in the last 2 games, but they have been his lowest yardage totals through the air since he has become the starter. Remember, Sam Bradford opened the year in their plans, but they've changed him and offensive coordinators.
180.
Johnson again. Johnson, who is the leading rusher on this Cardinal team, and after injury kept him out last year, 3rd on the team in receiving yards as well.
And the big problem here has been the offensive line, though. We'll expand on that. We'll show you the rotation and all the different starting lineups through the course of the year. And when you have inconsistency up front, it impacts your pass protection, your run blocking. It's just hard to do things effectively with your offense.
And Fitzgerald, 4 catches, and he surpasses Jerry Rice, #1 all time, most catches with one team, one franchise. Rosen floats one and incomplete, trying to get to Trent Sherfield, the rookie free agent from Vanderbilt. Well, after Nick Perry went on injured reserve, then Mike Daniels with a foot problem. Kenny Clark has played well up front on this Packer defense, and Blake Martinez has been outstanding at the linebacker spot.
Yeah, some shifts and changes in the back end here with the secondary. A lot of injuries there, a lot of guys inactive again this afternoon for the Packers in that secondary. So we'll see if Josh Rosen can take advantage of that.
Kentrell Bryce is out. Kevin King and Bashad Breeland all inactive in the Packers secondary. Third and 9 for Josh Rosen, who has time. And on target. Did he hold on as going to the ground? Looked like he had enough for the first down catch. His tight end Ricky Seals-Jones.
Split out as your tight end right there. Little chip. Hold Clay Matthews a little bit, finds a soft spot in the zone. It was nice progression by Josh Rosen because he was working the left side of the field with Larry Fitzgerald and able to come back and get that completion for the first down.
Rosen from Manhattan Beach, California, UCLA. Said he played it at Washington State when it was raining sideways and in Utah when it was cold, but nothing quite like this. Pressure coming. Rosen avoids it, and just at the last moment knocked away from Ricky Seals-Jones. A nice defensive play in the Packers secondary by Tremont Williams. Let's get a game break and check in with Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. Bears-Giants, Chase Daniel making a 2nd straight start for Mitchell Trubisky, and this isn't the way he wanted it to go. First pass of the game intercepted by Alec Ogletree for the score. Giants up early, 7-0.
Leaving some hope for the Packers in their playoff run if the Bears could stumble. They'll be watching the Carolina game as well today. The Panthers are trailing. They're one of the teams in the wild card hunt that Green Bay is trying to surpass. Johnson carries. It'll bring up 3rd down. They need to get to the 46 of Green Bay for a first down.
And they've got to have David Johnson be a factor in the game today, not just running the football, and he's done well since Byron Leftwich has taken over. He really makes an emphasis to have David be a part of that game plan, but also getting him outside of the formation and getting some matchups against safeties and linebackers if he can create that.
Rosen has time, low throw, and incomplete. Christian Kirk, the rookie from Texas A&M, was the target at his 4th down. Cardinal offense a little too basic, a little too simple in the second half last week in that blowout game with the Chargers, but their point of view from the sideline was we want to protect our young quarterback while still trying to win the game. Each team moves the ball and then stalls as Jair Alexander watches the punt bounce and be down inside the 20. There's a flag down back at midfield.
During the kick, holding number 85, the receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down, and a timeout.
Backup tight end Robert Tanya. That's another special teams miscue. Aaron Rodgers back on offense to lead the team. Darrell Johnston, Chris Myers after the punt and penalty at the 8-yard line. Packers take over second offensive possession after getting a couple of first downs on their opener. And Rodgers to throw. And Marquez Valdez-Scantling cannot hang on. Second rookie receiver having an issue. This is the overriding theme, and these are the teams that are in contention. Right now, the Vikings and Redskins would hold the last 2 wild card spots, so the Packers have to work their way up. The advantage there is that some of those teams will be running into each other. Minnesota plays Seattle later in the course of the season. The Packers have to win first and get help. That throw for Graham is incomplete.
Yeah, and pressure right up the middle, impacting the throw of Aaron Rodgers. I think it's going to come from right here. Little stunt to the inside, right into the face of Aaron Rodgers, makes that throw just a little bit high.
That was one of the things the Cardinals did well early last week. Phillip Rivers had that record-setting performance, but they did put pressure, and they got sacks early. They want to contain Rodgers as much as they can on 3rd and 10. Rodgers in his own end zone. On 3rd down, has to dump it off to Aaron Jones, who goes out of bounds short of the first down. Boy, the Cardinals, they talked about it with us, Darrell. They were disciplined and not jumping because Rodgers is the best at getting teams' defenses to jump offside. And they held their ground on that series.
Yeah, when the official puts the ball down ready for play, the defense has to be ready to play because Rodgers is going to vary that snap count and kind of quick count you from time to time. But I agree, Chris, that was a nice series by the Cardinals defense.
Saw Gerald Hodges, he's taking in then the defensive signals. Josh Bynes went on injured reserve on that Arizona defense after last week's injury. Christian Kirk watching this at the 46 as he falls forward, and the Cardinal offense will take over. Good field position. Cheeseheads come from all over to enjoy football in Lambeau, whether it's snowing or not. Couple of series for Aaron Rodgers in the Packer offense. He's 4 out of 7. Clean shaven, had the mustache last couple of weeks, but it's December. First NFL weekend in December here with snow and temperature in the 30s for Josh Rosen. David Johnson straight ahead. Well, checking the Cardinals and recapping the course of their season, a new era. Both Bruce Arians and quarterback Carson Palmer retiring after last season. Steve Wilkes takes over, and Josh Rosen, the top pick, replaces Sam Bradford in week 4. Fitzgerald continuing moving up the all-time receiving charts. A struggle, though, with that 2-9 record. The only 2 wins coming against the 49ers. Now, Josh Rosen said this week the sky is not falling for us, but the snow is falling from the sky on the Cardinals today. Inside handoff and knocked down with a flag down as he was tackled by Blake Martinez, who leads the Packers in tackles. All right, so it's against the Cardinals.
Illegal formation offense. Number 11 was covering up a player. The penalty will be declined. 3rd down.
That's on Larry Fitzgerald, who has not been targeted yet. And Byron Leftwich, former quarterback himself, part of rebuilding, hoping to change those numbers at the bottom of the offensive list for this Arizona team that has more talent than that, than would produce that.
Yeah, and I think that Byron Leftwich, he's going to have to get comfortable. You mentioned he wants to make sure that Josh Rosen is protected. He was in a similar situation his rookie year. He doesn't want him to get beat up. He doesn't want to have him scarred in his rookie year, but he's got to strike that balance about being aggressive as well. On
3rd down, and that is a first down catch, and the first team to cross midfield. Remember, the Packers got to the 50, but Christian Kirk from Scottsdale, Arizona, went to high school in the area, making the grab in the Scottsdale area. It's a first down catch.
Christian Kirk is another one of these young guys. As you pointed out, there's some talent here on this team. It's just got to come together, and I think that this offense you need to let them learn on the fly. And you don't want your quarterback to get beat up, but you also can't just hand the ball off all the time or throw screen passes consistently. Get some running backs and some tight ends to help you out with some of those issues in your offensive line, and trust your guys to kind of execute the game plan you put together.
As Johnson carries, those rookie numbers we showed on the graphic, anytime you're in the neighborhood of Larry Fitzgerald, it's a great start to your career. And for Christian Kirk, playing opposite Larry Fitzgerald, Chad Williams is inactive again with that ankle injury, and you wonder, with the speed of J.J. Nelson, who only has a few catches this year, why they haven't gone to him more downfield.
Part of that problem. You're trying to protect your quarterback, and JJ's plays are all down the field. So you've got to hold that ball a little longer. And I think that Byron Leftwich, the offensive coordinator, is just very concerned about his young quarterback getting roughed up.
Johnson on second down. Until you hear the whistle, you just don't know. It'll be third down. They need to get to the 32. Carissa Thompson has another game break. Carissa?
Thank you, Chris. So the Packers chasing the Panthers in the wild card race. Cam Newton finds Christian McCaffrey with that 8-yard score. McCaffrey's 10th touchdown in the last 6 games. Bucks still up in this one, 10-7. Chris?
All right, thank you. Lying down in Tampa Bay. Panthers trying to end a 3-game losing skid. One of those teams ahead of the Packers, as Carissa talked about, or part of that chase for a wild card spot. Sack! Rosen goes down. And it's Josh Jones from the secondary. Boy, he had some time. He just didn't unload it.
Well, Josh Jones got on him quick. It looked like he did have plenty of time, and he's coming. Not getting funny. A little fake from the inside. Yeah, nice job. And I think that probably took the eyes off of Josh Rosen. So he's lined up right over top of the quarterback in that middle linebacker spot and gives him a little fake drop. So I think Josh Rosen took his eyes off him.
The veteran Andy Lee. The punt that hits and rolls toward the 19-yard line. That's where the Cardinals get on top of it. The defense forces a punt. It's the offensive's turn for the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, you just had a nice blitz, and you wrap up Josh Rosen out on the field. And what do you do when you finish up with that? You come to the sideline and wrap up your own quarterback.
Hey, 43, 43. Set. Green 18. Green 18.
Aaron Jones slips an ankle tackle, gets a first down up across the 30-yard line.
He's impressive when you watch him on film, and I thought Chandler Jones, we had an opportunity to visit with him yesterday afternoon, and he was very impressed watching Aaron Jones on film. Not real familiar with him going in, but then all of a sudden you kind of stop the tape and, all right, who is this 33 guy? Where's he from? What's he been doing this season? And he said this guy has got one of the best stiff arms in the NFL as a running back.
Second year. He missed the first 2 games with a suspension. But he's rushed for 70 or more yards in 4 of the last 5 games. As Justin McCrary checks in for Byron Bell, who was shaken up on that last play after a gain of 13 yards.
Hey, hold up. All the way. Hey, 4-3's Mike. Ready, ready.
Jones knocked backward. And the whistle blew in a hurry on this one. Hassan Reddick, you heard pre-snap. Of course, Benson Mayoa there too, but you heard pre-snap Aaron Rodgers, 43 Mike.
Identifying the Mike, set up your blocking schemes, let your offensive line know. But this is a decent front, and you know, Robert Kimdichie is one of the guys. There he is right there, number 90, coming off a really good game last week. The inconsistency in his play, his availability has been one of the struggles for Arizona throughout his young career right now. But you saw the potential last week, very impactful inside.
After a loss of 1, Jones fights to get just short of the 40 as the first quarter winds down. Kind of a slow dance between the Packers and the Cardinals in this scoreless opening quarter. You're watching the NFL on Fox from Lambeau. How are you? Start of the second quarter. Larry Fitzgerald may be wondering why they haven't tried to throw him the ball yet today.
I am.
Meanwhile, terrific balance for the Packers. 7 pass attempts. They've run it 8 times in a scoreless game. On 3rd and 2. Fake pitch. Rodgers under pressure and has to get rid of it in a hurry. And it was Trey Boston from his safety spot that didn't bite on the fake handoff.
Yeah, well played. I mean, you have a role, you have an assignment, right? And he's going to be on the outside. Watch, he's going to come in from the right side. There he is, 33. Watch, he sees the play away, he stays home, he's able to come upfield and impact that throw. And that was one of the things that Chandler Jones mentioned to us. He says, you know what, sometimes when I watch the film after our games, I see guys trying to do too much. They're not just doing their job. They're trying to help out their teammate. We've got to get back to just doing our job. What is our responsibility on that play? There's a great example by Trey Boston not chasing it down.
Rookie J.K. Scott, 5th-round draft pick from Alabama. 3rd punt of the game. Kirk waving everybody away. This has got a good roll to it. And it'll get out of the 10-yard line and put the Cardinal offense in a hole. Laura.
I just want to talk about weather for a second. I asked Mike McCarthy beforehand how much this wind, which has died down since this morning, but how much this wind was going to affect the offensive plan. He said the biggest thing it's going to affect today is field position. That's going to be at a premium today. That's going to be so important. We're already seeing how that's working right now. The wind has died down, but it's still really gusty. Since they put the boxes on the south side of the end zone underneath the big jumbotron, Mason Crosby told me it's changed the stadium when it comes to wind. It's not true anymore. Looking at the flags will tell you which way the wind goes, which used to be Lambeau Field. Now it's a little more gusty, a little more whippy in here as they're trying to figure it out.
Hasn't been a problem for throwing the football, and we haven't seen a field goal attempt. The punts have been pretty good so far. The last one was as Chase Edmonds, 4th rounder from Fordham, is in. I like that Aaron Rodgers said during the week with a smile, even though he's from California, right? They said, I love the colder the better when we get these teams from the west that come in here. We'll take snow, wind, chilly temperatures, whatever. So far, it doesn't seem like it's much of a factor for either team.
No, you're going to have to play in it. Both teams are playing in it. You just get into the right frame of mind with your mentality, and you go out and play the game. The one thing on a cold day, everything stings a little bit more. The contact hurts a little bit more, but.
And Josh Rosen not wearing a glove. Not necessary. Doesn't usually do that anyway. He's going to throw here and incomplete. Boy, David Johnson was smothered by the time the ball got there. It's a good thing he didn't catch it.
And this is one of the things that Byron Leftwich is working with Josh Rosen about, and you don't have to make every play, right? So sometimes it's just not there. Don't throw this. Don't try and make that throw. I mean, he is very, very fortunate that Josh Jackson doesn't have a pick 6 right there.
So that's Josh Jackson on a throw from Josh Rosen, and it was Josh Jones who had a sack on the last series. 3rd and 7.
You're joshing.
No, I'm not joshing. I kid because I care. I would never josh you though. For Fitzgerald in the middle of the field, and there just wasn't anything open, and he had to get rid of it.
And here's that dynamic of the field position that Laura mentioned. You're able to take the punt and get it down inside the 15-yard line. Your defense comes out and forces a 3-and-out. Now this should result in favorable field position for Aaron Rodgers and his offense. We'll see what Jair Alexander can do with this punt return.
1st-round draft pick, corner who's got excellent return ability. They haven't really unleashed him yet this year. He'll have an opportunity, possibly, as Andy Lee in his 15th season. Here comes a whistle and a flag.
False start, number 81, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
That'll back the Cardinals up even more. Andy Lee from Pitt, drafted in 2004. A teammate of Larry Fitzgerald in his college days. 2nd season with Arizona, claimed last year when he was cut by Carolina. Now standing in his own end zone, so a better opportunity for Alexander on the return.
This doesn't have a lot of hang time on it.
Alexander to midfield, slips out of it. Andy Lee is out in front, eventually run out of bounds inside the 35-yard line of Arizona.
When you don't get hang time on your punts, they're coming back at you pretty quick, and an opportunity to wrap them up and negate that, but they tackled poorly.
Packers set up well. We'll see Rodgers in the offense in a moment. The rookie Alexander with the longest Packer punt return of the season, 24 yards after that 50-yard boot from the 35 of Arizona. Rodgers, catch made. Davante Adams is inside the 20.
And this is one of the things that they're going to have to be careful about today, because last week when they played against the Chargers, there was a lot of spacing in between the pass rush and the coverage, so they wanted to go a little bit more man-to-man. But that means you're going to kind of find yourself in some tough matchups today. Phillip Rivers was able to exploit all that area underneath in between their coverage, zone coverage, and their pass rush.
Hey, 4-3, 4-3.
Pickup of 16 yards inside the 20 now. Aaron Jones is knocked backward and will lose yardage. And Chandler Jones, and McCarthy said he's the best defensive end we'll play all year. Made a big play on a run attempt by the Packers right there.
Yeah, that's a pretty bold statement, right? I mean, they got that Minnesota defense with the players they have in their defensive lineup there, the defensive end position. So a lot of respect for Chandler Jones.
Jones added some weight playing this position, about 18 pounds, he said, and he needed it. It was good weight, good bulky weight. Two-time Pro Bowler, former Patriot.
Front. 19 up.
Rodgers, after the loss of 3 for the end zone, and 3 Cardinals were covering Jimmy Graham, and Rodgers frustrated.
I think that there's at times where there's not that easy out in situations like this. It seems like a lot of the route design for the Packers, it's very vertical. They talked about really wanting to improve their yards per attempt coming into the season. You know, solutions that are quick underneath. We saw it a couple of times with Aaron Jones as a running back, but you're not seeing that little shallow crossing route that comes across. Yeah, we got verticals down the field, but does Aaron have some quick outs when those aren't open down the field?
Yeah, he talked about checkdowns or the mentality, too, of a receiver being aware on third down, the quick toss. And Randall Cobb gets down around the 12-yard line, but it's going to be short of the first down.
Well, I'll get to see if, how Coach McCarthy thinks. You talked to him about fourth downs in our meeting on Friday. We'll see what he's thinking about right here.
Yeah, he said numbers and instincts. He said, there's analytics, but at the end of the day, I'm going to go with my gut, knowing the game, knowing the situation, knowing the personnel. It's been a hot topic in Green Bay, but here, no hesitation on the part of going on fourth down, and we'll call it 3 or 4, 3.5, 4 yards. Rodgers pointing, throwing, end zone, catch, feed in, yes or no. Touchdown Packers, Davante Adams. There's the leap in Lambeau.
And Patrick Peterson had a really good view. He was over on the sideline looking back. He is saying incomplete, and he's telling Steve Wilks to throw the challenge flag.
Yeah, and there was hesitation. The official waited and then ruled touchdown, but the feet.
There's Patrick Peterson. He's right there.
Looks like there's space in between.
Don't believe him, Coach. Don't believe him.
To overturn that. Here's a better view, Darrell. We take a look at our director, Brian Lilly, and his camera crew right on top of it, and that's a touchdown.
It certainly is.
Ruled a touchdown to be confirmed. On 4th and 4, a gutsy call. And Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy and the Packers knew where they wanted to go with it. It's confirmed, and the extra point from Mason Crosby is good. Second quarter, that's where the Cardinal problems began last week. But Rodgers delivers at a critical down at a critical time of the Packers season. Davante Adams already having a career best season with his 11th touchdown grab on a 4th and 4. And Aaron Rodgers now 21 touchdown passes against just 1 interception his string of 298 pass attempts without a pick breaks Bart Starr's franchise record. As Crosby gets ready to kick off. And the Packers now leading in the second quarter 7-0. .25-yard line, Rosen will lead the Cardinal offense.
Well, the Packers able to create a great matchup. There's Davante Adams. He's got 10 touchdowns coming into the game. He's working against Budda Baker, the safety. Watch him lose his eyes. He looks back at the quarterback. That's where Davante Adams slips him out to the left, so they get the great matchup from that formation.
And the world-famous Lambeau leap. Looks like the snow has eased up a little bit here. Rodgers, when you that's amazing to have 21 touchdown tosses and just one interception. For as much as he throws the ball from the 25-yard line, there's a flag goes down as Johnson goes down.
This is Chris. This is a big series for Arizona right here, and we'll let this penalty get cleared up.
Offside, number 94 defense. 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
And we had Arizona last week. They looked impressive at the start of that game. They jumped out 10-0 in the first quarter. This season, they've been outscored 108-27 in the second quarter. Last week, the Chargers put up 28 on them in the second quarter. You've got to be able to respond to what the Packers just did.
Yeah, and in that brief graphic of their last 3 possessions, it looks like they're regressing. You have to make adjustments through the course of the game, obviously not just at halftime. Arizona trailing now. Rosen throwing to Edmonds. He's not down yet. And Chase Edmonds with a good move for a first down up to the 38-yard line.
And this is why I think that Byron Leftwich, I know he's got a plan in place. I know he's trying to take care of his young quarterback and doesn't want anything to happen to him. But you've got to be able to help with your protection with chips and all these different things. You've got to be able to stay aggressive down the field. You can't continue to throw the ball short.
Clarity and simplicity is what the Cardinals said Byron Leftwich has brought. But he's a first-time play caller. He was an intern for Bruce Arians, worked his way up, quarterback coach, and now on the spot with his young quarterback. A high throw, but Larry Fitzgerald is able to make his first catch of the game. So that's 223 consecutive games with a catch. Second only to the great Jerry Rice. And remember, with 3 more catches, he'll set that unique record of most catches by one player with one team in the history of the NFL.
But here we are, almost 20 minutes into this game. It's the first throw to Larry. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Johnson goes nowhere. They talked about setting up, I think it was Larry who talked about simple plays, Larry Fitzgerald for David Johnson to maximize. There's basically 8. They whittled it down to 8 different kind of run plays, and that's how you disguise things.
Yeah, and that's the way that a lot of these offensive teams are very good at what they do. They've got a small group of plays. They look different because of the way you dress them up with formation and personnel, but once the ball is snapped, you've got that same play coming at you. They're trying to get to that point as they find out what each member of this offense does well.
Worst in the league on third down. Time for Rosen, and Fitzgerald has a first down catch.
This is a nice job, and every once in a while we talk about chips and running backs and tight ends helping out with that protection up front, but sometimes those guys have to earn their money as well. They're going to get caught in one-on-one situations, and they've got to do their job and keep their quarterback upright, keep them the time to scan the field and make throws down the field.
And Larry thinks they hit on the right guy with Rosen at quarterback. His smarts, his love for the game, his work habits, his arm strength. He had to dump that in a hurry. There just wasn't anything developing.
Well, the Packers are very aware of Arizona and their myriad screen game that they're going to run out here. So this is a situation right here where it's a screen, and there goes David Johnson up inside, and he gets all tripped up, and now your guy that you want to throw the ball to is not in the screen. So the Green Bay Packer defensive linemen are going to be very aware of it. They're not going to let him get out. They know that this is the one team in the NFL that throws more screens than anybody.
TJ Logan comes in at running back, second-year player from North Carolina, with David Johnson. That's him in motion. He looks at Logan and goes the other way to Johnson. And Johnson gets down inside the 45 of Green Bay. Bring up third down is Tramon Williams, who's played well in that Packers secondary with all the injuries. Defensive coordinator Mike Pettin said we moved him around, or wherever we put him, he's done a good job for us.
He really has, and a little bit of heat on him with the punt last week that touched him, and that guy playing safety, playing corner, and jumping on special teams. You're full with snaps on the defensive side of the ball, and you're still out there working with your special teams. So just one of those guys that loves the game of football.
3rd and 7 from the 44 of the Packers. Protection is good, and Rosen delivers to Trent Sherfield, rookie free agent from Vanderbilt. And remember, Rosen was telling us his favorite throw is the tight window throw. That was a well-thrown ball.
Coming all the way from the outside. Good job with protection. Here comes your blitzer from depth again. It's Josh Jones. He got home in the first quarter, so there's an adjustment right there where they're going to have a late blitzer coming from depth in the middle of the field. You pick it up and give your quarterback time to throw. And
it started with the protection up front. Rosen is now 7 out of 13. That was a 21-yard pickup.
Hard down. 180. Hold on.
Rosen for the end zone. Fitzgerald is there. There's a flag down. Looked like Larry was trying to get to the ball, but was held back.
You can see they're getting a little bit of confidence.
Number 37 defense, 5-yard penalty automatic. First down.
They're getting a little bit of confidence with their protection, because this is one of those long developing routes. Watch Larry. He's going to the post. Now he's going to try to get back outside to the corner, and it was a nice move, and Josh Jackson's just got to pull him down.
Impressive drive by the Cardinals here in the second quarter, following the Rodgers touchdown pass to Davante Adams.
180.
Johnson works his way inside the 10-yard line. Tough running from the 6'1", 225-pound David Johnson.
Yeah, loosens everything up a little bit, right, for the offensive line. Some good blocking up front, good lead block, little down and wrap around.
Get near the end zone. You go back to 2016. Remember, he led the league with 20 touchdowns, 16 running, 4 catching. He's a force in the red zone.
You're good. Stay there.
With Laura Oakland, Darryl Johnston, and Chris Myers from Lambeau Field. As Johnson carries into a crowd. Scoreless opening quarter. Rodgers a touchdown pass on a 4th and 4 to Davante Adams, and the Cardinals respond by marching downfield and inside the 10 of Green Bay.
Yeah, this has been a very, very impressive drive by this Cardinal team. We didn't see anything like this last week out against the Chargers.
1st and goal. And they're saying just spotting it just at the 8-yard line.
Let's go. Hurry.
Got a whistle before the snap. Looked like a timeout was called or attempted by Arizona.
Timeout, Arizona, first team timeout. 30 seconds. Timeout.
Now this message from Bose. Well, the Packers with playoff hopes on the line, but at home in December, they like their chances. Mike McCarthy knows his team has to win its final regular season games and get help. Try and work into the NFC wild card picture. And the Cardinals try to avoid a 2-win season. That's never happened, finishing a season with just 2 wins for the Cardinals. On 1st and goal from the 8 after the timeout. Chase Edmonds is shoved to the goal line. Touchdown! A delay call from the official. Looked like that crowd started at the 4 and it just kind of moved right through him, and the rookie from Fordham gets in. They'll take a closer look.
It didn't look like there was a whole lot there. Little belly play. Look at that running lane right there, and then just a great job by Chase Edmonds finishing it. And there comes some of his offensive linemen and tight ends getting in behind him and giving him a push. You can push from behind to help your teammate get in the end zone. Just can't pull from in front of him.
And we're seeing more and more of that. A late surge and
you got to watch right there. Corey Cunningham's got to be careful. That's one you can't do.
And Ricky Seals-Jones was the last guy in. And the 5'9" Edmonds, after he's only what, 205 pounds.
Review the previous play.
Referee Pete Morelli wanting to confirm after they pounded away with David Johnson. So ruled a touchdown on the field, and they're taking a closer look. After they reviewed, they reversed the call. Not a touchdown. Chase Edmonds, you see, he is down. The ball has not broken the plane. There was enough to overturn it, so it's second and goal, and a flag down before Rosen spins out of the pocket.
They went quick. They broke the huddle, got to the line of scrimmage, snapped it quick.
False start from 79. Offense, 5-yard penalty. Still, second down. Please set the game clock to 5:04.
Rookie Corey Cunningham, the left tackle.
Watch Corey Cunningham right here just kind of pop up, and everybody's going fast. You've talked about this. You've practiced. It's part of your short yardage goal line. We get down there. Hey, we're going to break the huddle. We'll come on the line of scrimmage. We're going to go quick. But you got to have that time. You cannot have that penalty in that situation.
And they've moved him around a little bit from left tackle to right tackle. DJ Humphries is still out on that line. So now instead of a yard, they need 6 to get to the end zone. Chase Edmonds is in. He's in the end zone for a Cardinal touchdown. First career touchdown for the 4th-round draft pick from Fordham.
Very similar to the play that got down close to the goal line 2 plays ago. They're just doing a nice job with their blocking there. It's just a simple kind of belly play where you roll to the left and you got a little bit of cut back to your right.
And I can't say Fordham without thinking of Vince Lombardi, especially when we're in this part of the country. Now for the extra point of the tie. Zane Gonzalez up from the practice squad, and he's the kicker replacing Phil Dawson. And one of the famous Fordham alums.
And then in this industry, the most famous.
Yeah, I don't think there's much hesitation. And I've mentioned before that Chase Edmonds is the 2nd player in the last 50 years drafted from Fordham, and the Cardinals drafted both. The other was John Skelton, the quarterback in the 5th round back in 2010. And he gets the Cardinals, the underdog Cardinals, on the road in a tie game here.
Oh, look at that. 11 plays, 75 yards, and we talked about how critical that possession right there was going to be. You'd given the Packers a short field. They went down and took the lead, scored on a 4th down. You have played terribly in the 2nd quarter the last couple of games and through the course of the season, and you come out and have a drive like that. That's very impressive.
Well, even after the penalty, backed him up on a 1st and goal from the 6. Jamal Williams is back at the goal line, and Gonzalez, who just hit the extra point, Williams bringing it out, or beyond the one, I should say, and straight ahead, a good return. Extra shove, and he gets up across the 30-yard line where Rodgers and the offense will take over. Darryl Johnston, Chris Myers enjoying the game and enjoying the weather. Really kind of festive up here.
Hey, there we are.
All right, sorry, I was looking this way. I wasn't sure which side we were going.
We got so many cameras up here.
I'm enjoying the booth. The Packers, with a lot on the line, seems like they're just being kind of careful and cautious. And during the week, Aaron Rodgers said this is an opportunity for us to take more risks. We should be able to play loose.
Yeah, but what was one of the things we talked about at the top? Aaron Rodgers, even himself, was very cautious in giving one of those statements that he's been known to do in the past. And I think this is maybe one of the reasons why. You know, he's not sure what this team is right now, and that was not a good defensive series by the Packers.
Almost intercepted, although it took a 4th and 4 gamble for the Packers to go for it, and that's when they produced on the touchdown toss. The struggles this year on the road, well documented, and at home, that one crazy tie with the Vikings. On 2nd and 10. Up to the 41-yard line. And let's get a game break with Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. So Rams-Lions tied at 3 in Detroit. Jared Goff finds Robert Woods for the 8-yard score. Rams clinch the NFC West with a win. They're up right now 10-3.
All right, thank you. And an opportunity with the Saints losing Thursday to Dallas. The Rams in the driver's seat for the #1 seed in the NFC. Williams to the 40, and Rodney Gunter up front for the Cardinals. Playoff picture after this weekend. 4 regular season games remain. The Bears right now are leading with Chase Daniel at quarterback at the Giants. Redskins will play the Eagles Monday night in an important game the way this figures. And the Vikings taking on the Patriots. That's later on Fox, America's Game of the Week. After a loss of 1, Rodgers floats one over the head of Davante Adams. And it'll be 3rd and 11.
You have a couple of those built into your game plan every week. They're your big shots down the field, and Aaron Rodgers very frustrated that he missed that one with Davante Adams. Little slant there, and you kind of catch Trey Boston sitting on it a little bit, and you're able to get up over the top, but just can't connect.
Rodgers now 8 of 15.
Hey, Okie! Hey, 9-1's down, rope 2. 319! 319, hard on! Blue 58!
He has room, and on the run, incomplete for Randall Cobb, and here comes a flag. And another flag. Shaking his head is Buda Baker.
Pass interference. Number 36, defense, automatic, first down.
It was a nice job by Jamal Williams in that protection as everything kind of broke down from the left, and that allowed Aaron Rodgers to get out to the right side. You can see the contact right there, and Randall Cobb down to the ground. There's your hold right there as he breaks back to the outside, and they get tangled up.
Major penalty on 3rd and 11, so fresh set of downs from midfield. Jamal Williams remains the back, 2nd-year player from Brigham Young.
319! 319!
Williams straight ahead and has to fight for a yard. He led the Packers in rushing as a rookie last year. He's played in all the games this season after starting the first 5, but then Aaron Jones kind of took over as the lead back, but McCarthy happy with both of his young running backs.
Yeah, that's one of those luxuries that you can have. You got 2 guys that can perform well, and Aaron Jones, I agree with Chandler Jones on his assessment. He's very impressive on film.
Davante Adams slips a tackle in to the 40.
of those situations as these wide receivers kind of cycle through. We see Jordy Nelson leave and go out to the Raiders, and who's going to be the next one that rises up and becomes Aaron Rodgers' go-to guy. And Davante Adams this year is becoming that next guy for him. And
good enough for a first down, and looks like Budda Baker, the Cardinals they're checking his leg. Yeah, with Randall Cobb, he's back today. He missed the last 3 games. He's missed 6 games this year, battling a hamstring. But between Cobb and Adams, the reliable receivers, and Jimmy Graham has been battling a thumb injury.
There's Budda Baker coming into the picture from the right-hand side, and you can see as he comes to break down, trying to come to balance, and his kind of leg slides out, and right there you can see right away.
He missed last week's game against the Chargers as being helped off. So did Rudy Ford, but Ford active today.
Well, that's a huge loss. I mean, Steve Wilks talked about it just during practice this week to have Budda Baker back on the practice field, and the energy that he brings and the competitiveness that he brings, and that's missing in preparation now. It looks like it could be missing here during the course of the game for a while.
Deone Bucannon also inactive today for Steve Wilks, although in this defense with this team this year, a very different role for Bucannon. And the injury checked on. 2 minutes remain in the half, and the Packers' playoff hopes dangling in a tight one at home with Arizona. And the statue outside Lambeau here, and coming up, the Visa halftime report. Check on the Ravens and Falcons. Carolina losing in Tampa Bay. The Bears are up with the Giants. Just some of the highlights. Rodgers on the move. And he'll slip out of bounds. Leonard Johnson came in the secondary for Budda Baker. Remember, this is an Arizona secondary. They released Bené Bonwickery, who had been a starter. Remember, the week before, Jamar Taylor. So they've shuffled some personnel. Also, Andre Smith on the offensive line was let go this week. A lot of shuffling with personnel. And Budda Baker headed to the locker room early.
Hey, sword 5-1, 1-3, 1-4. Green 18. Green 18 up.
2nd and 6. Rodgers underneath Jamal Williams. He slips a tackle. Got a first down to the 26-yard line. Time for a game break.
Thanks, Chris. 4th and goal from the 1. Chase Daniel hands it off to defensive tackle Akeem Hicks, who takes it in. From 1 yard out, Bears leading this one 14-7. Chris, Gerald, and Laura.
All right, thank you very much.
Dipping in the history right there. We got a new version of the fridge. With Akeem.
Creative offense in Chicago with a backup quarterback winning again. Rodgers on target again. Graham tackled right away. Antoine Bethea, the veteran safety. Rams have opened up their lead on the Lions. The Texans, who are red hot with their winning streak after losing their first 3 to start the season, they lead Cleveland
Even.
20-0.
Green 19. Green 19 up.
Dump off. Down to the 15 is Williams, and good enough for the first down. Going to get a timeout, Green Bay.
Yeah, Hassan Reddick got really lucky on that play because, watch him right here, the screen's going to go up. He thinks he's going in protection, but then he's coming to the outside, and he comes on the blitz, puts the brakes on. He's very fortunate that Gerald Hodges made a good play outside and was able to defeat that block. That could have been a walk-in touchdown.
Hey, in just 6 days, the MLS Cup lifted in front of one of the most electric crowds you'll see as Atlanta United takes on the Portland Timbers. Saturday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Fox. Watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app. Only the 2nd year for Atlanta United as a team and playing in a game of that magnitude. Steve Wilks has to be happy with the way his team has hung in there on the road through this first half. But can they keep the Pack out of the end zone?
Hey, 5-1.
Aaron Jones back in at running back.
Green 18. Green 19 up.
Aaron Rodgers hit as he throws. Devontae Adams tackled right away. Chandler Jones got in on Rodgers, and it looks like Adams, the way he was tackled, you heard the crowd go, ooh, it looked like he's in pain.
Yeah, that was very awkward, and we'll see the end of it. It's what you put the horse collar tackle in place for, to prevent that type of tackle right there. Again, man-to-man coverage down here, trying to close that gap of all that space, and there's the pressure by Chandler Jones late on that throw. I mean, they missed one there. Could have been a forcible blow to the head to Aaron Rodgers right there.
That looked like that could have been called. And there's the tackle. Leonard Johnson. Hope that Adams is okay. Laura?
Quick update on Budda Baker. We saw him walking into the locker room with a pretty severe limp. He is questionable with his return, a right knee, that same knee that kept him out before.
Thank you. And the Packers used their second timeout with the injury rather than an offensive player injured, so you don't want the runoff here. 34 seconds remain. Need 3 for a first.
Back one, straight right. 319.
Aaron Rodgers in trouble, and he goes down. Chandler Jones got to him.
That's a good job when you've got a quarterback that can evade the rush like Aaron Rodgers, of being disciplined in your rush lanes, and you don't want to get beyond the quarterback. You want to push the middle. Watch how these 4 guys do this. This is textbook. Pushing in the guard center area right there. Let your edges collapse in top. There's nowhere for Aaron Rodgers to go.
Rodgers, first-round pick of the Patriots from Syracuse, won the Super Bowl. Chandler Jones, won the Super Bowl, beating the Seahawks as a member of the Patriots. And most sacks in the NFL for Chandler Jones since joining the Cardinals in 2016. That gives him a dozen for this season. And remember, he told, when we chatted, had our meeting, I never faced Aaron. I'm excited to face Aaron Rodgers. I have a special way to rush him. I've been working on it. I've been practicing.
Yeah, you have to be careful. And we've seen him, kind of break out and get outside the pocket. And you can see, not just leading since 2016 by a couple. That's 5.5 sacks. That's substantial.
Big one there because the Packers used their final timeout of this half on 3rd and 9. Rodgers' throw is out of bounds. Randall Cobb was in the area, and it's 4th down. Mason Crosby will come on to try a field goal. 37 yards. Crosby has hit 78% of his field goals this year. He's missed a couple of extra points. And now 32 with the spot. This will be a 32-yard attempt. And Crosby nails it. Packers with a 3-point lead, 15 seconds to go before halftime. Check in with Kurt Menefee.
On the forecast for the Visa halftime, Baltimore tries to bring a downpour into Atlanta. The sun is shining down there in Houston, where they will take on the Cleveland Browns over here. And the Broncos get a chilly reception in Cincinnati. Turn up the heat wherever you are. The Visa halftime is next.
It's not as easy as weathermen make it look.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard to find that that hand exactly on that green screen. So I've done that before. It's not very easy.
Being a sports broadcaster is not that easy.
Yeah, weather guys. There's some tricks to their trade that they're not sharing with anybody.
And our director Brian Lilly, dresses like that every week. Takes a lot of pride in his fashion. He was out shopping for pocket squares in Appleton the other day as it was sleeting here. Touchback. Well, the Cardinals have hung in there, and Josh Rosen has played the steady hand against Rodgers and this Packer team.
Well, we told you about their second quarter struggles. Unfortunately for the Cardinals, they continue into the third quarter as well. So what happens when they come out at halftime here? I don't think anybody saw 10-7 coming here. It's a unique environment. This is a young team. They've handled it very well. So, I think you have to be happy going in at halftime, but you've also got to be able to come out because you have struggled mightily in the third quarter as well.
And the Cardinals set to receive in the second half. Green Bay will be kicking off. Halftime score as they head to the locker room. It's a 10-7 game. A look at the play of the first half presented by DirecTV. More for your thing. That's our thing. And on a 4th and 4, Rodgers to Davante Adams for Green Bay's only touchdown of this first half. So let's head to Los Angeles. Kurt and the weather guys with an update on all your highlights and games going on and the Visa halftime report. Time for today's game flow, brought to you by Progressive. We're live at Lambeau and only a 10-7 advantage for the hometown Packers, heavily favored with long-range playoff hopes. And Daryl, I'm looking at the right camera this time. Thanks for blocking for me and setting me up here. Well, I think Packer fans like this season, this game. Maybe they expect a little more from their team.
I expected a little bit more. And we talked at the top of this with Aaron Rodgers, his bold predictions, hey, relax in 2014 and run the table in 2016. This week, a lot more cautious, and you can see why. He's still not sure exactly where this team is. I mean, we watched the Chargers dismantle the Arizona Cardinals from the first quarter on, and we were thinking there was the potential of that, and the Cardinals came out and had a great drive in that second quarter. Now, what can you do here? Because unfortunately, the third quarter has been a struggle for you the last couple of games as well.
And Rodgers said he's not out to make proclamations. He just says what's on his mind, and it's very authentic. And that's why he was cautious this time. Let's head back down to the field there in Laurel.
I'm going to start with Steve Wilks, who said it was a great first half. He said we've done a really good job containing Aaron Rodgers, keeping him in the pocket. It's when he's gotten out that he's been able to make his plays downfield. Offensively, he said we need to start fast with this Green Bay offense. We've got to put points on the board. Balance will be key. Mike McCarthy wants more out of his run game, get to the second level, and said we've got to get some turnovers.
All right, thank you, Laura. On first down, it's David Johnson carrying. Chase Edmonds the touchdown for Arizona. And that's the way it's gone on the last time they had the football before the kneel down.
And you had mentioned that, Chris. It was a decline in performance there through the first 3 drives. So that response drive after the Packers scored that 4th down touchdown to Davante Adams was very impressive.
Cardinal defense giving its team a chance in this game for victory so far. See what the offense can do. Larry Fitzgerald just a couple of catches in the game. And that's off the hands of Chase Edmonds. And there's a flag down.
Number 79 offense, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Second call against the rookie Corey Cunningham.
And as challenging as the second quarter has been for the Arizona Cardinals, look at their third quarter challenges. So, can they come out and duplicate some type of drive like that? And again, it just move the ball effectively. You can't have these penalties that are negative plays, but can you even just transition out towards midfield and back up Aaron Rodgers before he comes on the field?
In the touchdown drive for the Cardinals, the 21-yard pass play from Rosen to Christian Kirk. Actually, it was Sherfield that set that up. They did have a pass to Kirk earlier, and then the Chase Edmonds touchdown run. Backed up here with Fitzgerald in motion. And a high throw through the hands of Kirk. Now 3rd and 18. And coming out to start the second half, they have not done well. That could be a product of adjustments or the other team, defense, making adjustments. Now the Packers, I assume, and I don't know, Daryl, you tell me, but look, studying the film, how much they blitz or need to, but this might be a case on 3rd and 18 with a rookie quarterback.
Well, it depends on how you want to play it. You can bring pressure or you can play coverage, and it's going to just depend on what the Packers decide to do. What does Mike Pettin want to do right here? He definitely wants to keep Josh Rosen behind the chains, and the Cardinals have helped him out here with a real 3rd and long.
And a run to TJ Logan. Kind of a field position gives the appearance of we're going to play this safe in a 3-point game call there.
Yeah, well, Mike McCarthy told Laura, we got to get some takeaways. There's an opportunity right there on a 3rd and long, and kind of deep in your end to get a little bit too aggressive in that situation. Give the Packers an opportunity to have a short field, so just hand the ball off and punt and cover right here.
Jair Alexander did not fair catch and goes down at the 35-yard line. Packers with a 3-point lead get their hands on the football offensively for the first time of the second half. Last couple of games for the Packers in the second half, just getting 3 points. And you see some of the numbers. And Aaron Rodgers said, after that last game, we hit our usual offensive lull. He wants to avoid that lull by the offense. Comes out throwing. And Devontae Adams was in the area. They just don't look crisp. They don't look sharp here.
No, and when I was in Dallas, we had a season. We had the same thing. We come out at halftime, and we were not very good in the 3rd quarter. And, people on the outside start to bring it up to you. The more it was discussed, and we talked about it, the worse we got in the 3rd quarter. So we kind of talked to Aaron about this on Friday, and he said, that's frustrating. We can't get a rhythm going. And you just got to be able to build something. And again, right there, that your opening play, it's 3 big shots down the field. There's nothing to check it down to get something positive and get that rhythm going. There you go.
Jimmy Graham, first down across the 45-yard line.
Still trying to kind of find his niche here in this offense. It's very different than what they did when he was with New Orleans and had those breakout seasons. I mean, he was a featured guy with the Saints, and he was a go-to guy for Drew Brees. And in this offense, it's a little bit of everybody. Where's the matchup? There's concepts that are out there, and Aaron's going to go to, the best matchup. What should open up against that protection? So still adjusting to how the Packers offense is designed.
4-3. 3-19. 3-19.
Aaron Jones across midfield and to the 48 of Arizona. Packers averaging just about only 3.5 yards a carry in this game. So the Cardinals have done well in that department.
That's a nice job. They're very effective running the football through the course of the season.
Was a pickup of 7. Again, the average for Aaron Jones coming in was 6 per carry, best in the league.
Set on. 3-19. 3-19. Hut. 3-3.
Yeah, spot.
Blue 58. Blue 58.
Jones is going to lose yardage. Thought he could slip out of it. Back inside the 45. And an excellent defensive play by a swarm of Cardinals.
Yeah, I just know where to go. And you heard Aaron Rodgers, during the course of that 3-3. Well, there's 3-3 right there. And they're running the ball right to 3-3. Kind of gets off the line of scrimmage a little bit. He's the first one that kind of gets him pushed back. And that's good rallying to the football by the Cardinals defense, because one of the things you'll see from Aaron Jones is runs that are very effective. Is situations like that right there. Everybody's kind of relaxed a little bit, and he bounces out the backside.
And Budda Baker has come back in. Remember, he left in the first half injured. He's in that Arizona secondary. Rodgers could have been intercepted right through the hands of David Amerson. And he's showing us those hands.
Yeah, he's wondering what's wrong with those hands.
I mean, and Rodgers with just one interception in what, 300-something attempts. You just don't expect that.
No, and he threw it right at David Amerson.
That could have been a mix-up with Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the rookie receiver, but a missed opportunity for Arizona. Christian Kirk back to receive the punt. Lets it go, and wise decision because he got the bounce the Cardinals need it. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. And a near interception, but the Cardinals take over on offense, trailing by 3. From the Lombardi statue to Lambeau Field, Cardinals, Packers, well, they've had some great playoff meetings last few times and over the years. Rosen steps up to throw if he can. He's on the run and gets rid of it. The 21-year-old rookie never had a shot.
But that's the down to take your shot down the field, and he does a really nice job of avoiding the pressure, but unfortunately everything is built to his left. I mean, this route is designed to go to the left, and now he's scrambling out to the right. So just that recognition that your quarterback is on the move and you had a play where you're going to have shots down the field, just nowhere for Josh Rosen to go with the ball.
But they've yet, the Cardinals have, to turn it over, and that's been a bit of an issue. But a focus point on 2nd and 10. Pressure, catch, not enough for the first down by Christian Kirk, and a game break with Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. Giants trailing 14-10. Eli Manning tosses to Odell Beckham, who buys some time and then finds Russell Shepard wide open for this 49-yard touchdown. Beckham's second passing touchdown of the season. Giants leading this one 17-14. Chris?
The Bears continuing to lead the division. Vikings play the Patriots later today on Fox as Clay Matthews comes limping to the sideline. Facing a 3rd and 2. Low snap handled by Rosen. Throws, tipped, and incomplete. Christian Kirk was in the area. And Mike Iupati is one of the injured Cardinals. Cardinals checking on left guard, the veteran Mike Iupati, 4-time Pro Bowler. And this offensive line, Darryl, and you start out, I think it's the 9th or 10th different change through the course of the season. It's a group that when it's cohesive, it's at its best. Yeah,
but when you're challenged with this many changes during the course of the season because of injuries, I mean, 3 guys on IR, your center goes on IR during training camp. It's just been hard. It's hard to get any consistency. And these are the guys. You released Andre Smith, during the course of the week here. So you're going to have you had another one coming into today's game. So, this group has to play together. They have to trust each other. They have to, the double team blocks. There's so much goes into passing the games in the pass rush. So, it's tough.
Yeah, and even, of course, you're protecting your investment at quarterback with a rookie starting out, as you've talked about. You don't want him to get beat up physically and mentally. This is a look at that most recent play and checking on Iupati, who has had some injuries that he's been dealing with. And we hope that he's okay. Remember, Matthews headed over to the Packers sideline, so injury here at Lambeau. Well, Iupati left on a cart, and Clay Matthews, they're checking the ankle. Looked like moments ago when he limped off, he stepped on the player awkwardly when he was being blocked.
Comes right there, kind of wobbles the ankle a little bit when he steps on Kenny Clark's foot.
On 4th down, Jair Alexander back to receive the punt. Fair catch, waved for inside the Packer 25. Well, this weekend, NFL players are showcasing their passions beyond the game by letting their cleats do the talking. Part of My Cause, My Cleats. They're supporting charitable causes through custom designed cleats. Discover how players are making a difference in their communities and bid on the special edition cleats by going to NFL.com/MyCauseMyCleats. Aaron Rodgers among those.
Hey, 4-3, 4-3.
Well, Rodgers talked about this offense, saying we need to over-communicate, not micromanage. Graham catches that and takes it out of bounds. Laura?
Chris, we're going to stay with these wonderful causes right now. Derek Coleman became the first legally deaf offensive player in the NFL, saying playing football used to be all about him. Not anymore. Growing up without a role model, he now is one of them. This week, visiting students from the Phoenix Day School for the Deaf, using his platform to show kids what they can accomplish. Derek told me, I used to play for me, now I play for them.
All right, thank you, Laura. They go without a huddle, and Graham with the catch to the sideline. And that should be good enough for a first down, and it is. So how about the over-communicate? and less micromanage.
Yeah. Well, I think the micromanage part, nobody likes one of those guys. Everybody's telling you what to do. But the over-communication part comes in where let's make sure everybody knows what we're doing and we're not in the wrong places and we're not doing the wrong things.
Wide open and unable to hold it. Ruled an incompletion right away by Randall Cobb.
And these are one of those throws that we're seeing from time to time from Aaron Rodgers. I mean, wide open, Randall Cobb. Yeah, a catchable ball, but normally that is like right where it's supposed to be. He's catching it in stride, and you can see the frustration right there. He's just missed a couple of those easy ones here the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, a couple of veterans who are usually on the same page, and you saw, Aaron, that was when hey, that was on me. And hey, the difference is in the details. The Packers talk about that on their offense. Facing a 2nd and 10. That's Cobb with another chance. Gets a block, breaks a tackle, and gets up across the 41. They need to get to the 45 for a first down.
Yeah, but part of this, part of the concern about the passing game and Aaron Rodgers is he's played at such a high level for so long that the expectations from the fan base are extremely high. And he talked to us on Friday. Hey, some of this stuff is just conjecture. Something has to be wrong. If we're not playing well, then something has to be wrong. They went on a really tough road run. The places they played, the Rams on the road, the Seahawks on the road, the Patriots on the road, the Vikings on the road. That's a tough stretch.
But here, the Cardinals at home, as a flag flies.
Ball start. Number 78, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Jason Spriggs called for that infraction to back up the Packers. Even 5 more yards. Well, he did say that he told us he talked to Mike McCarthy more than he ever has. I mean, Aaron Rodgers said, we're communicating. We sort things through the offense and through the personnel we have and injuries that we deal with. Facing a 3rd and 8. Blitz. Rodgers gets rid of it to Graham, and he can't slip the tackle of Buffet. And it's 4th down.
They're doing a much better job this weekend than they did last weekend. The Cardinals are of eliminating that space in between. They've timed their blitzes up very well. This is timed well, coming in. And then you've got your man coverage. So you don't have a lot of people running free into those large spaces, and they've tackled better. Antoine Bethea comes up and makes a good tackle on Jimmy Graham in that situation. They did not tackle well when the ball was thrown underneath by Phillip Rivers last week.
J.K. Scott. Christian Kirk backing up, has it at the 5. And it's smothered at the 12. Good special teams work. After the Cardinal defense does its job, it'll be up to the Cardinal offense, trailing by 3. Clay Matthews remains out. Reggie Gilbert taking his spot. Gilbert from Levine, Arizona. He played for the Arizona Wildcats. And it's Colby Gossett on the offensive line in for the injured Mike Iupati. A 3-point game and a game dominated by defense. Christian Kirk on the inside handoff gets a first down, showing some speed going up the sideline before going out of bounds.
You got to have your contain right here. You're going to see here comes Christian Kirk from your left, and watch the defender trailing him. See, he's a little bit late. Jair is a little bit late. He's out of position. They don't have anybody there, and then he gets caught up in the wash.
Kirk, the first Cardinal draftee who played high school football in Arizona since 2006. And he picked up 23 yards up to the 36-yard line. Creative play from the Cardinals in this low-scoring struggle. A game we did not expect, at least this type of game. In fact, it's the biggest play of the game. Yardage-wise, wide open. He's got it. It's Kirk again on a ball slightly underthrown, or he might have been in the end zone.
Yeah. So back-to-back plays to get him into Packer territory. Going up against the best Packer corner right there. So good release on the outside, and he just, that subtle lean. And Jair Alexander was thinking speed out. And there was just that subtle lean, and he bit on it, and that got him the separation back behind.
A rookie-on-rookie catch 37 yards. Christian Kirk against Jair Alexander. In field goal range inside the 30 of Green Bay. Johnson. Packers take care of that with little gain, if any.
Yeah, and we showed you all those different offensive line combinations through the year. So you've had to become creative with that running game, and that's why the screen game has become such a big component of this offense. It's hard to run the ball inside effectively with all those changes. They've had some success here over the last couple of weeks with David Johnson, but this Packers defensive front's been playing good even without Mike Daniels in that lineup.
Johnson has carried 12 times, just 37 yards. Rosen. Incomplete. Larry Fitzgerald at the pylon was the target. But Rosen had a tough time setting up to throw with the pressure.
Yeah, I tell you what, for a young guy, he is pretty calm in the pocket, and he's going to the guy that, if you're going to have a 50-50 shot, that's your best pick. Give Larry an opportunity to go up and make a play in tight man coverage.
Tramon Williams was right there with Fitzgerald. And now it's 3rd and 9 from just inside the 27-yard line. And Clay Matthews has come in now. And even though the sack numbers aren't up, the Packers know he's affected the game and the quarterback for opposing offenses. Rosen had to throw before he wanted to. And it's 4th down.
The pressure affects the quarterback, and then the field affects the route. You're going to see this is a timing route, and you're going to try and break out right there, and the cleats give out on you.
It was Blake Martinez who put the pressure, or at least got in the area, to make Rosen uncomfortable. And this will be a 44-yard attempt by Zane Gonzalez, second year from Arizona State, drafted by Cleveland initially, started the season with them. Up from the practice squad. High snap, but the kick is good. We've got a tie game with just over 5 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I think Steve Wilkes thinks that there was some jump right there. You could see that inside right there where Dean Lowry was. It looked like maybe a little bit of a movement. Good job getting that snap down and for the kick.
Now this from State Farm.
You again, Captain Khakis? Penalty. Too many agents on the field. Come here, give me that.
Come on. I'm Aaron Rodgers' agent.
No, you're not. That guy is.
Oh, you better have good lawyers.
You better have good.
My name is Amy Belafonte. I didn't used to believe in monsters, but I do now.
You could help us save millions. You might be the most important little girl in the world.
The Passage, January on Fox.
A 10-10 game. Packers and Cardinals, that scoring drive, 61 yards, nearly 2.5 minutes. And ends with a 44-yard field goal.
Well, we talked about progress for the Cardinals, down the stretch. They needed to show progress. 3 weeks ago, that game they played at Arrowhead, it was impressive. They were competitive, did some good stuff. Some things that hadn't happened. They held Mahomes under 300. It was one of the rougher days for that explosive Chiefs offense, but they haven't been able to follow it up since that time. And here we are today, 10-10 at this point. 5 minutes to go, a little over 5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. So this is what they can do. And they've just got to become more consistent with that down the stretch.
You said at the beginning of the broadcast how this felt different. There's 19 players we counted on the roster currently that were on that last team in 2016 that made a playoff run when things looked bleak for Green Bay. And you talked about whether it was run the table or relax. And Aaron Rodgers said he doesn't, sit and make those proclamations. It has to be an honest response. And it was looking bleak after last Sunday night's loss to Minnesota. No margin for error. Jamal Williams carries.
But you said, this team can go one of two ways. And Aaron said, I think I know which way we'll go. So I don't think there's the confidence yet that they've turned that corner. They're still a young team. They're still growing.
Hey, 5-1, 5-1.
Young receivers out there that are trying to get that precision basis of this offense understood completely.
Nice catch on a high throw, and it's hauled in by Marquez Valdez-Scantling, one of those rookies, and time again for a game breaker.
Thanks, Chris. Panthers trailing 24-10 in Tampa, looking to snap that 3-game losing streak. This helps. Cam Newton finds Devin Funchess for a 10-yard score. Panthers still trailing 24-17. Chris?
All right, thank you, Carissa. And that's part of the help, at least at the moment, that the Packers would need. Teams like Carolina, Seattle, that are in the wild card chase along with the Packers. But they have to win to do their part and stay in the hunt. Jamal Williams carries. I loved how Aaron Rodgers, though, after that game, we got a fourth and short. Here's another one of those. And punting unit's coming out.
Yeah, this is a good choice. I think the fans. I'd be booing the third down play call. You know, not the decision to punt on fourth down.
Okay.
I just think sometimes you get a little bit too fancy in that situation, and it was not a clean exchange on that catch pitch to Aaron Jones.
Cardinal defense toughens up again, waving everybody away. The punt, it's not a great kick, and it bounces to the Packer 35. I was talking about how Aaron Rodgers, the 5 was a little different after the loss Sunday night, put him in a deep hole against the Vikings. His response.
Go back home, get some rest, beat Arizona, and then come back and beat Atlanta, and go to Chicago, a place we've won a number of times, beat them, go to New York around Christmas, beat them, then come home against Detroit, beat them, get a little help.
And I asked Rodgers if he was looking down at a card of the schedule. No, he said, I got it all up here. What happened to that one game at a time kind of mentality with players? He knows what lies ahead, but the Packers have to do their part. And it's up to the defense right now. And Rosen gets out of the rush, gets a first down, and Josh Rosen staggers and fumbles out of bounds around the 31 of the Packers.
It's kind of funny because I got the chance to talk to him on the field before the game, and we just kind of reminisced a little bit about last week and everything. And he's like, you know, my offensive line struggled a little bit at UCLA, so I've already got maybe a little bit quicker internal clock than most guys coming in, and it's paid off for him because as we've talked about the offensive line struggles here, and this is a great decision. There's nobody open, pull it down, now get something positive, and then he continues to extend.
That was an Aaron Rodgers type gain, not necessarily run. His longest in Rosen's career, 33 yards. And a good pickup at the Packer 32-33 as Chase Edmonds breaks free. Edmonds shoved inside the 3-yard line.
How about this guy today? You can see why Steve Wilks wants to find a way to get David Johnson and Chase Edmonds on the field together.
They hurry to the line here after another 33-yard gain. Flag down.
The right side of the line was going down to a 3-point stance, which is a false start. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's similar to before the half, right? The second quarter when Edmonds almost scored. It was ruled a touchdown, reversed, and then they had the penalty that backed them up, and then Edmonds ran it in as Wilks is frustrated. Speaking of Edmonds, the last player to enter the NFL from Fordham and score a touchdown was back in 1988. Kurt Sohn with the Jets. Edmonds did that earlier today. We talked about the Fordham rookie. Backed up now after a big run on first and goal. And Rosen for the end zone and a high throw over Christian Kirk.
This one just got to come out a little bit sooner and throw it to an area. Christian Kirk is going to get ahead of Jair Alexander right there. Now just lay this out in front and let him track it down. It looked like Jair almost tried to trip him there at the end.
Those two rookies are going at it. 2nd and goal. Chase Edmonds is trying to turn the corner, and to the end zone. Edmonds has a Cardinal touchdown. He's got 2 today, and 2 in his career in the NFL.
Where else should a guy from Fordham score his first 2 touchdowns of his NFL career?
There's something in the air, and not just snowflakes.
Just good patience right here, and he's going to sell this to the inside, and then watch the decision. Once he sees the pylon, now it's a sprint to the pylon. And I tell you, he's not a big guy, but he is physical.
And the Cardinals have a 7-point lead. Well, you mentioned that the Cardinals played a tough game, Darryl, against the Kansas City Chiefs. No moral victory, a game, of course, that they lost. But they're playing a heck of a game against a desperate Packer team that usually, with Aaron Rodgers in December at home, is practically unbeatable. And they're doing it in a lot of different ways. A completely different team than what we saw last week at the Chargers, a team that really struggled to get any type of rhythm and consistency. And I do think that Byron Leftwich is now starting to trust his young quarterback, this plan that he has to keep him healthy and make sure that nothing happens from a negative perspective during the course of his rookie year that damages him in year 2 and 3. You want to be able to let him grow. I think that he's kind of stepping out of that comfort zone and being a little bit more aggressive, and the guys are starting to step up around him and make plays, and that's what you need. Well, on that drive, you had the rookie quarterback run for 33 yards and Josh Rosen, and then Chase Edmonds ran for 30 plus more to set up that touchdown opportunity, and then he of course produced. And it was, Byron Leftwich told us this week during practice they had 8 rookies in a huddle on offense when they were preparing for this game. That's incredible. Yeah, at one time you look up and you're like, wow, we got, there's 8 of our 11 guys are rookies that are in the huddle right now getting ready for this game. So you're going to have a little bit of a tendency to kind of ease off a little bit and make sure you're not doing anything that can get anybody hurt. Jamal Williams from inside the 5 on the bounce. And he does a good job to get back up to the 24-yard line. And Aaron Rodgers today, let's check how things worked out. That big 4th and 4 was the touchdown producer pointing Davante Adams in the right direction. But again, I think one of the things we're seeing, and we saw a little bit of it at the beginning right here, that drive right there, a couple of underneath throws to Jimmy Graham, trying to build some rhythm, consistency. They came into the season wanting to increase their yards per attempt. You look at analytics, that's a big indicator of how well you play if you can hit those explosive plays. But they've gotten away from some of their base fundamental things. Williams carries, but it went from a, let's just say, careful, cautious, semi-comfortable 3-point lead at home to now you're trailing by 7. And, yeah, we still have a minute and a half in the third quarter, but the longer you leave a Cardinal team around, the worse it can get for you when you have no room for a miscue if you want to talk playoffs. No, not at all. And we showed you the struggles of both of these teams at the start of this quarter, and Arizona was able to navigate that and have some productivity, and the Packers did not. We got a minute 15 left to go in this quarter. They have not done anything offensively. Valdez-Scantling has it. He's got a first down and thrown down by Antoine Bethea. A creative wrinkle from the Packers. But I don't think you can say enough about, and you have, this Cardinal defense, the way they've stood tough today. They've done a good job. They've shut down the running game, and it's an effective running game for the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams in there. They corrected a problem from last week where the brush and the coverage got too much separation, and they had some big voids, and they've tackled better today. So the yards this quarter, Packers not many. Rodgers has to get rid of it. Kind of a delay glitch by Arizona. So last 2 games, second half, Green Bay gets 3 against Minnesota. Before that, 3 in the second half against Seattle. Not enough. And so far, nothing here. No.
And that was the one area, what we saw in that last play. The one thing that Arizona has done well this year defensively has been rush the passer. Chandler Jones, we talked about Mike McCarthy right there, thinks he's the best defensive end in football. And this is a Packer offensive line that's had some up and down moments during the course of the year. How would that battle shape up during the course of the game?
Williams has it. Goes down to the 35. And it'll bring a third down. Patrick Peterson, the 7-time Pro Bowler, on the coverage.
And on a play like that, Chris, you know, just there's that safe play we're talking about, that little swing pass. There's two guys there to make the tackle.
They were ready for it. It looks like the Packers will let this clock run out, and at the end of 3, Chase Edmonds, 2 touchdown runs. Cardinal defense has done the job. Packers with the ball, but down 7. Along with Laura Oakman, Daryl Johnston, our producer Fran Morrison, Chris Myers. Hope you're enjoying the NFL on Fox from Lambeau Field, where the Cardinals, heavy underdogs, have a 7-point lead to start the 4th quarter. 3rd and 11 for Rodgers. Rodgers has time, and the pass is complete inside the 40, and down to the 30 is Randall Cobb. And
holding, number 78, offense.
It's coming back.
10-yard penalty, still first down. Still third down.
McCall on Jason Spriggs, the 2nd against him today.
Just backbreakers. You struggle that entire 3rd quarter to get anything. In the start of the 4th quarter, you get an explosive play to start your drive. Right tackle at the top of your screen. You can see right there, he goes up and he's got Chandler Jones hooked. And that's a good job by Arizona. You know, Chandler Jones has been working the right side. You get Jason Spriggs over there, young guy playing that right tackle. Move him over there. You can move Chandler throughout that defensive line to get your matchup.
Jones already with a sack in this game. And now 3rd and 21. It wiped out what would have been a first down connection to Cobb. Rodgers hopes to add to those 4th quarter numbers today. Spinning out of the rush to gain time and air it out. And overthrown. Devontae Adams and Valdez-Scantling were back there. It's 4th down.
I like this play. The little design rollout right here. Sit in the pocket now. You roll out. Make sure you've got time because you're taking a shot down the field. 3rd and 21. Yeah, why not just go for all of it instead of the first down?
High kick, fair catch called for. Bounces out of bounds. Looked like it went out of bounds and came back in. We'll check the spot. They're going to mark it around the 20. Frustration for the Packers continues. Down 7. Some confusion with our officiating crew, and a penalty was called. Option to re-kick is Christian Kirk, especially the way the ball, they got a good distance on that last punt. The Packers ended up being a 55-yarder. So Scott will try it again, backed up. He's standing inside the Packer 10. It's another good kick. And Kirk has it at the 23. A little bit of room to run, but he's running into Packers, spinning down at the 29. Well, Daryl, we've seen quarterbacks light it up in the offensive numbers this year. It's the best, the highest scoring we've ever had through the first 12 weeks of the NFL season. And yet we're in a 4th quarter locked up in what has been a defensive struggle. We saw Thursday night the Saints' powerful offense and the Cowboys winning a tight defensive game.
Yeah, and we actually talked to Coach Wilkes about that. You know, the ability to win a tight defensive style game is still out there, and he was very complimentary of how Rob Marinelli's group down in Dallas played, slowing down that Saints offense. So it can be done. I think it's
just not as common as
exactly. I mean, well, the rules have changed, right? The rules have changed to make it easier for the offenses to have big plays. I mean, we're seeing this as a product of that. It's hard for defenses out there with all the rule changes that have happened. For some of them for safety, some of them for the fact that they want to see more points scored. So it's tough in today's NFL.
Cardinal defense doing its best against this Packer offense, so maybe it's Green Bay's defense that has to make a galvanizing play, or a play that creates a galvanizing moment for Green Bay. Johnson for a couple. Josh Rosen, the rookie quarterback, has been steady. His big 33-yard run set up what is right now the difference. The touchdown by Chase Edmonds, but he picked up on a scramble 33 here.
Absolutely. And, you know, the same as his team, you know, Josh Rosen is going to get more consistent with his play as well. But you can see the foundation of skill set that he has. And I think it's going to be a promising future for him.
Rosen to throw to the tight end behind him. Here comes a flag. He's trying to get to Jermaine Gresham. It's like a hold.
Prior to the pass, holding. Number 51 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That one's on Kyler Fackrell. We haven't heard much from him today on that Green Bay defense. As for Rosen, he's got a bit of you had a different perception than when you sit and talk with the young man. He's a smart conversationalist as you get a look at the penalty here, Daryl, and an accurate call. But I like that Larry Fitzgerald said, I'd rather have a cocky, arrogant guy as my quarterback. I don't want a meek and mild guy back there to lead my team.
Not arrogant. He said he walks that fine line very well. He's confident.
David Johnson into a crowd. Yeah, he wasn't specifically saying that Rosen was that, but he said, I would rather have that in a quarterback.
Without a doubt. You don't want to have to pull that out of somebody. You know, if anything, you want to just temper it down and keep your emotions in check. But I thought it was really interesting what Larry said. You know, he's kind of embracing that role right now as a mentor at this stage of his career. And you know, he wants to see Josh have success. So he'll tell him things. If he sees something that he thinks could lead to a bad habit at practice, he'll walk up. No, don't go down that path. Let's nip that one right here.
He's inquisitive, he's curious, and so far today successful. Chase Edmonds flagged down back at the 28, another one dropped at the 39 moments later.
There are 2 fouls on the offense. An eligible player downfield, number 64. That penalty would be declined. Holding. Offense, that penalty would be ejected. Number 79, 10-yard penalty, still second down.
Well, that's going to back the Cardinals up even further. See the look on Steve Wilkes' face. There was a lot of discussion if the lopsided losses continued, even for a first-year head coach with Arizona, that there might be more moves made than just some assistant coaches and players. But his team has responded here in Green Bay. Johnson straight ahead, and Clay Matthews in on the tackle.
Yeah, and that's a great job by Clay Matthews, because that's a play that's designed to go straight up the middle of the field, and he's coming in off the edge. And you know, you got used to Clay Matthews being that disruptive force in the passing game, but boy, his run defense has really improved here the last couple of years, especially the last couple of weeks.
Cardinals have run for over 150 yards today. Some big chunks of that on the Rosen run and Chase Edmonds. A chance for Green Bay's defense on 3rd and 16. Pass is incomplete. Christian Kirk was in traffic. Here comes the Cardinals punting unit.
And again, that's going to be another one of those screen plays, you know, trying to get something safe that has the potential to break into an open play. But, you know, if it's not there, you can't force it. And that was going into a lot of, that ball gets tipped up. They're very fortunate that the Green Bay Packers didn't have an opportunity for an interception right there.
The boot. Good kick by Andy Lee, driving Alexander back, and he lets it go. He was frustrated. He wasn't sure to go back on it or not, but the Cardinals down it at the 5. So a long way to go for the Packers, whose playoff hopes may be slipping from their grasp. Second half possessions for Green Bay. Not a lot of positive results, not a lot of number of plays. After a 64-yard punt, Rodgers dumps to Aaron Jones, and he gets to the 10-yard line.
And that's what you have to do. You're coming off backed up, you're into the field. You saw their drives here in the second half. You really haven't established any type of rhythm. You got to start getting some positive plays here. Get some rhythm, get some momentum built.
Even. 319.
Rodgers' throw juggled and incomplete out of bounds to the usually sure-handed Davante Adams. But a few drops by this Packer team today.
There has been a couple by each guy, and again, here's that timing, just a little speed cut out. How to defend when you time it up, and that was well executed. Just got to finish it.
Rodgers has a couple of comebacks this year from down 20. Remember to beat the Bears in the opener when he was physically beat up. Late drive against the 49ers.
319.
From his own end zone, he completes the pass, creating time, and a first down throw to Adams.
Davante Adams playing the inside part of that trips formation on that side. He actually bumps into the blitzer, slows him down a little bit, and then breaks away and is able to make the catch.
36 pass attempts for Aaron Rodgers today, 22 completions, but good for less than 160 yards.
319.
The pitch to Marquez, Valdez-Scantling, and he is across the 40.
I've never seen the turf monster live on a grass field.
Another step or two, it would have been a lot more.
You can see right here, he just stumbles a little bit. It looks like he's going to, number 83 is going to come around the backside. Now watch, he's got everything blocked up. He's got the alley. There it is right there, and he just kind of overstrides and stumbles.
A 21-yard pickup. That's the longest play of the game for the Packers.
319.
From the 43 of Green Bay. Rodgers scanning the field. Underneath and knocked down right away Jamal Williams by Hassan Reddick.
Well, I think the Cardinals defense, with one of the things they wanted to correct from last week was going to make them play a little bit more man coverage today, and maybe they feel comfortable against these younger wide receivers, but their pass defense has been very tight coverage, all afternoon.
And for both of these teams, with this defense in the top 10 for most missed tackles, kind of a loose statistic, but they've been tackling well today.
5-1. 319.
After no gain, Rodgers. Sideline open and a first down catch. Stepping out of bounds is Jake Kumaro, making his NFL debut. Activated from injured reserve after he had a terrific training camp before being injured.
At the top of the screen. That's a nice route. It's a really, really well run route.
Pickup of 11 when they needed it at the 46 now of Arizona.
You see it. 319.
Jamal Williams carries for Green Bay.
This is an impressive drive here for the Packers. We showed you their struggles here in the second half, and this has been well done. The rhythm that they've been lacking here the entire second half, they've been able to establish on this possession.
Rodgers now 24 out of 38. Jimmy Graham, the leading receiver, with 6 catches in the game for Green Bay.
319. 319. We 19 up.
2nd and 6. First down catch. Adams to the 32. And now Rodgers has found his rhythm.
Yeah, exactly, and good play calling right now too, because they had a blitz. They had the free blitzer coming from his left, but they have the perfect play called up. Just a quick solution right here for Davante Adams. Little slow off the release. Nice timing.
Go, go.
5 out of 6 on this drive for Aaron Rodgers.
Ready, ready. Sit up.
They've only run for 76 yards today as Jamal Williams carries. Under 6.5 to play.
And again, credit Arizona. They've been struggling to stop the run. They have a very highly ranked pass defense, but a lot of people say, well, that's because everybody chooses to run the ball more against them. So they've come out and they've done a nice job this afternoon against an effective, efficient running game from the Packers.
Aaron Jones comes back into the game. He splits out as a receiver, top of your screen. Empty backfield.
Going all right. Sounds good. 19. We 19 up.
Rodgers dancing around. He's pointing again. He's throwing and sideline catch with the feet in. Yes, Davante Adams. What a grab. The officials are discussing it. Rule the catch.
This is great because Arizona does a heck of a job for the majority of this play, keeping everybody covered. Look at how tight it is. And again, you've got young guys, so you don't have that chemistry, that ability to move and get into an open space.
And they wanted to snap it quickly to the end zone. Touchdown, Aaron Jones.
Well, you hit the big play to get down close. There's a great job of Davante Adams working the sideline. Look at those toes. That's so good. And then get up to the line of scrimmage quickly, get the run play called. Good finish by Aaron Jones.
We got a tie game under 5.5 to play. Adams, who had a touchdown catch in the first half, a great sideline grab to set up Jones' score. A 95-yard drive for the game-tying touchdown. It's the Packers' longest drive of this season. Will it be a defining drive for this season, or at least the Packers' hopeful run to keep playoff hopes alive? Touchback here. Cards come out to the 25.
And how about the defining play of that drive? I mean, just watch the job. Arizona's going to do a tremendous job in coverage here. There's nowhere for Aaron Rodgers to go. We showed you right before, that whole right side is covered. He's conducting, he's orchestrating back there. And then this throw to a spot that nobody but Davante Adams can make the play, and then he's up to the line of scrimmage because he knows that secondary just trailed guys all over the field for about 8 seconds.
And he didn't want to allow, in case there was any question of a challenge, obviously the feet were in, but the quick snap and then the touchdown run. Rosen is sacked. Dean Lowry.
I've been a part of a team going through a transition like Arizona's going through right now. I played during a 1-in-15 season, and every once in a while it becomes a situation where you just can't make the plays necessary to win the game. I mean, Arizona's controlled this game the entire second half, and then Rodgers leads them down the field 95 yards, and the first snap by the defense is a sack. So Arizona just not able to make those critical plays right now during this early part of the transition.
And the Packer defense rising to the occasion. Loss of 8. Bobbles snap on a low snap, and Rosen running, trying to unload it, and it's incomplete. He threw it right into the arms of Eddie Pleasant in the Packers secondary. Looked like he was already out of bounds or on his way out.
Well, just him, you know, the bad snap, and now everything's out of whack right now. And just throw this one away, Josh. Don't get that into the field of play. And there's no reason for that. Just come back and be safe and line up and see if you can do it. Eddie Pleasant should have that should be Green Bay ball 1st and 10 right there.
Former Cardinal Eddie Pleasant should have had the interception. Now 3rd and 18. Rosen flagged out.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Josh, he sees the play clock. He knows he's trying to get the center's attention to get Mason Cole to snap that ball. He's checking protection.
3rd and 23. As well as the Cardinal team has played, some things are showing up here for a 2-9 team. Rosen's throw for Larry Fitzgerald. And they are ruling it a catch.
Wow.
Larry Fitzgerald was falling to the turf with the ball.
That is a catch. His arm is underneath that ball the entire time. No need to hurry up and snap it.
No challenge. On what was 3rd and 23, and Josh Rosen move a little bit like Aaron Rodgers. He was pointing downfield and threw the ball to Fitzgerald, who's one catch away from the all-time record of most catches for one player with one team in his career. He would pass Jerry Rice, but that was a big one.
That is huge. I mean, we just talked about him, you know, finding a way to make the plays at the critical time of the game on a 3rd and 23. And again, that Eddie Pleasant dropped interception becomes even bigger now.
Underneath, it's Edmonds. And a Cardinal slow to get up at the 35. Limping, it's Christian Kirk. And he's coming back into the huddle. But good enough for a 1st down on the flip from Rosen. See the clock over 3 minutes, just over 3. In a tie game. And the pitch to Johnson. The Packers are there, but he goes through them to the 35-yard line. A tough run and a quick game break.
Well, just letting you know what's coming up next, Chris. America's Game of the Week. Kirk Cousins getting warmed up there on the road, and it's going to be a tough task considering the fact the Patriots haven't lost at home this year. It's all coming up next. Joe, Troy, and Aaron have the call.
We look forward to that. But things are happening in the playoff hopeful picture for the Packers. The Panthers are losing. The Bears are losing. On 2nd and 1 for the Cardinals. Johnson. 1st down. Each team with 3 timeouts. And Cardinals comfortable to take it to the 2-minute warning. After Rodgers got the Packers in position to score the tying touchdown. The Cardinals are on the move with 2 minutes to play. Packers at home, outstanding. Cardinals here, it's been a long time. In fact, this history of these teams going back to Racine and Chicago, St. Louis, Arizona. Cardinals with the ball, 1st down, 2 minutes left. After Johnson had a tough run to get a 1st down, he gets it to the 30. And a timeout by Green Bay because they know the Packers are trying to run down the clock, set up game-winning points, and leave little time for Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly. How many times have we seen Aaron Rodgers with situations like this, and you can see the one team, you know, as soon as they score to take the lead, they feel like they've left too much time on the clock for Aaron Rodgers to come back and steal that victory. So that will be one of the things the Cardinals are doing here in this drive. But the other thing is you've got to get your kicker in the position to give him the best opportunity for that game-winning field goal attempt.
And a key offensive part, Christian Kirk, you saw him limping, and Zane Gonzalez, who's already made a field goal today. Right now, it'd be a 48-yard try if the Cardinals get nothing. But it's only 2nd and 7. Johnson. The pile moves forward to the 26, and another timeout. Green Bay will have 1 remaining. Zane Gonzalez started the season with the Browns. In week 1 against the Steelers, he missed. In week 2 against the Saints, he missed. And he was released. 3 field goals missed, 2 extra points in the first 2 games of the season. But he's been good today for the Cardinals after the Phil Dawson injury, and then elevated from the practice squad.
And an injury at that time. He's come out and said he had a groin issue at that time, and it was impacting his kicking. And you know, kickers, you know, like everything down to that, you got to be right frame of mind. So says he's better now, ready for an opportunity. I think we're gonna get a chance to find out, Chris.
But with 1 timeout, if the Cardinals get a first down, that would spell doom for the Packers. And incomplete for Larry Fitzgerald, and no flag. Alexander, the rookie, and the 35-year-old future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but I like it. You talked about how critical this snap of the game was. You know, give your best player an opportunity. Give Larry Fitzgerald an opportunity to make the catch for the first down that would really ice this game away.
He's been targeted 5 times, Fitzgerald with 3 catches. And now a 44-yard field goal try to give the Cardinals the lead. Zane Gonzalez. The kick is
good for him.
And the Cardinal upset hopes continue. With Laura Oakman, Daryl Johnston, Chris Myers here at Lambeau after the Packers fought into a 17-all tie. Zane Gonzalez, the former Cleveland Brown kicker, activated, and from 44 yards away from the practice squad, activated for this game, has put the Cardinals back out in front.
Let's give Andy Lee an assist on that one. That was a nice hold. That snap was up a little bit, got it down clean.
Chase Edmonds, the rookie from Fordham, has a couple of touchdowns for Arizona. Their defense has played well. Aaron Rodgers, a touchdown pass to Devontae Adams, and also Aaron Jones, a touchdown run most recently, which had created the tie before that field goal put Arizona ahead. It's Jamal Williams back to receive the kick. Green Bay said at the start of things they needed to win their remaining regular season games and get help if they hope to be in the playoff conversation. It'll be a touchback and out to the 25. Looks like a flag down. Each team has been penalized 7 times, or at least accepted 7 penalties on each. Cards and Packers trying to figure this one out.
Number 25, the receiving team, was not in the restricted area. 5-yard penalty will be added from the 25 to the 20. First down.
Well, the last drive here in the 4th quarter after the Cardinals went up 17-10. A little bit of everything, but there was a fantastic pointing to get to Devontae Adams, who made an outstanding sideline catch, and then Rodgers hurried them to the line before giving the ball to Aaron Jones, and that touchdown put the Packers in position here And then the field goal moments ago by Gonzalez, trailing by 3. That was a 95-yard drive previously. So now I thought they were going to mark the penalty off, and they decided no penalty. So it's declined at the 25, and that's where Rodgers will take over.
43.
Buccaneers beat the Panthers. That's something that helps the Packer playoff hopes. Jimmy Graham inside the 30. Packers have one timeout. Fourth quarter overtime. You usually like the ball in his hands. And we talked about his record in December at home, coming in 16-1 with this Packer team. Incomplete.
Yeah, you saw that number 18 game-winning drives, and a lot of those in dramatic fashion. I mean, how many times have we seen him come onto the field and that opposition knowing they've left too much time for Aaron Rodgers on that clock?
Well, Rodgers has had everything from Hail Marys to dramatic comebacks, playoffs, regular season, home or away. But then they got to have a game for the Packers here. And he was the one who was open about it.
258. Oscar. 319.
On 3rd and 5. Pass is incomplete. Low, but probably should have been caught by the rookie Marquez Valdez-Scantling. And now, one down to get 5, or it's going to be lights out for the Packers.
They talk about the precision of this offense, so I'm not sure if that was depth by the receiver or what we've seen in the past here late in the games. Aaron Rodgers is kind of missing on some of those shorter throws.
And the Packers have had a few drops today. Out of sync. And a first down catch. Jimmy Graham across the middle with under a minute to go. Falling inside the 44 is Davante Adams. Mason Crosby has had a 53-yarder this year. If you're thinking about setting him up, going out of bounds, saving the clock, and a first down catch. The reserve tight end Robert Tonyan from Indiana State. Could feel the tension in this place, which is packed and has been from the start, despite the snow and the chilly temperatures.
1351.
58 the career long for Crosby. This year 53 the furthest he's made from.
Jerry. 319. 319.
Rodgers backpedaling, an incomplete. Receiver slipped in his turn. It was Davante Adams.
This has been one of those matchups during the course of the day. Davante Adams and Patrick Peterson. Just coming out of that break and a little bit of a stumble right there. Just disrupts that timing a little bit.
Need to get to the 35 for a comfortable try from Crosby. Rodgers will keep, and the healthiest he's been this season. Out of bounds, first down at the 40 of Arizona.
Just a very quick decision you're going to see right here that Aaron Rodgers sees what's in front of him and he decides to just pull it down and do what he can with his feet. He's not trying to fake anybody out right here.
Looked like one of his receivers downfield had slipped or fallen down, which may have forced that early decision. a delayed blitz, and Rodgers had to get rid of it. 15 seconds remain. You saw that green marker showing a comfortable line where the Packers would need to get to set up Mason Crosby. Right now it'd be a 58-yard try. Coming up, the Vikings and Patriots, and a Minnesota team that the Packers need to stumble, as they said, win and get help.
Hey, Oscar! Oscar! V19!
Conley, Rodgers hits reliable Randall Cobb. And a timeout with 8 seconds. And the Packers are out of timeouts. Looked like Rodgers maybe thought he could try to get another snap or a spike or something in there, but they didn't get the first down. And the officials want to make sure this is a catch. Under 2 minutes, so they do the review.
And you could see how he had to adjust his throw there with the pressure up front. But I think he was afraid, he was disappointed that he didn't give Randall Cobb a better opportunity to catch on the move. Even though you could see how he had to shift his launch angle and everything on that throw.
Well, right now it'd be a 49-yard field goal try, but the offense is still out there on 3rd and a yard. 9 seconds and no timeouts for Green Bay.
Hold on! Hold on! That's me! That's me! V19!
Rodgers, he's thinking end zone. And incomplete.
Well, that's a lot of trust right there, and being comfortable and smart, and you're thinking that they're going to just try and grab maybe 5 yards on a quick out pass, but instead they're going to take a shot down to the end zone.
Mason Crosby will attempt. He hit from 32 earlier today. He's going into the wind, at least in this stadium, what wind there is. And the kick is off the mark, and the Packers are going to lose this game. And their playoff hopes will fade further. 49-yard field goal attempt missed by Mason.